Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while, but we are back, and I sound like a dying frog. That's because I'm on the tail end of strep throat that I had a couple weeks ago. I have lingering stuff that just won't get out of my throat. I may have a literal frog in my throat, but for the ladies out there, I got that nice little sexy voice that you always like your man to have late at night. Yeah, that's right. But anyhow, welcome back to episode 8 of RJ Rennie Unhinged. Like I said, you're probably going to hear that a couple times. Back behind the Mega Mic for the first time in a good while, and I've had a lot of interesting topic ideas pop into my head for whenever I was going to get back behind the Mega Mic. And the one that kind of stuck in my head is we've had March Madness that started here a couple weeks ago. Actually, I should say last week. And it's been a really fun tournament. Now, I'm going to be personally honest with you guys. This is the first year I've officially followed March Madness. Just like I admitted that last year was the first year I really followed college football. Before I really got to school, I know the ins and out of like NBA, NFL, all that stuff. Follow that to a T. Know like probably the names of too many players enough to annoy my roommates. But I did not follow college nearly as much. I didn't really have a favorite college basketball team. I followed college football like my Buckeyes. That was about it. Didn't really have much outside of that. Flash forward to last year, my freshman year, when Baylor was a really good football program, so I really started following college football. That same year, Baylor basketball cranks it up, and they're rocking the number one seed for most of last year, probably a good 6 or 7 weeks of last season. Then COVID shuts everything down in February, and actually March, so it shuts down the entire March tournament. But Baylor was back, and Baylor was back better than ever and had a killer season. Didn't lose their first game until after a massive COVID pause and stubbed their toe against Kansas. And Kansas was one of the first teams we lost to. We had won like 20-some games after starting 1-1. Lost to Washington up at playing for a military base up in Alaska. Since then, won like 20 straight games. Didn't lose again until we played Kansas in Waco. Lost that game. Lost a couple more, but we were still poised to make a deep tournament run. Now, flash forward to this year, and Baylor comes in as the number one seed in either the Midwest or the Western. They throw so many random teams into these divisions in the bracket that it's kind of hard to remember which ones that they're actually in. So Baylor was up there, and halfway through the season, I realized that Ohio State was actually playing a pretty good basketball. They weren't the best team in the Big Ten. Michigan was the best team. They didn't win the Big Ten tournament, but Michigan, record-wise, was the best team in the Big Ten throughout the season. And I was kind of fluttering, like messing around with my friends, like, hey, look, Ohio State's doing good, and blah, blah, blah. Now both my teams are going to be in March Madness, da, 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 da. Well, we see how long Ohio State lasted as over 13 million brackets were busted when Ohio State lost to Oral Roberts. I mean, can we give a shout-out to these Golden Eagles? I mean, as I'll personally admit that I do not follow Ohio State basketball that much. Baylor basketball I do, because I'm here. But Ohio State basketball I do not follow that much. I follow their football, like you would not believe. But I do not really follow their basketball. So I was not heartbroken. I was kind of shocked, but I was not heartbroken when Ohio State lost to Oral Roberts. But then, yesterday, Oral Roberts did it again and took down Florida. I mean, there are so many Cinderella stories that are brewing in this tournament. And it's been so fun to watch for me these past couple of days. As I said, this is my first time really honing in and watching these March Madness games. I've, of course, heard of it. I've been aware of who's winning the tournaments. But this is the first time I've actually gotten to sit back and watch and enjoy the games that are on in front of me. And I've had a blast doing it. Rooting for upsets, because I didn't actually fill out a bracket. So I'm just sitting down watching it as a fan, rooting for Baylor. So when Baylor wins, I'll just see if an upset comes in. Any of the teams that I really have not much feelings towards, or rooting against every other Big 12 school, and so far most of them have been KO'd. Like yesterday, a ton of Big 12 teams bit the dust. West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Texas lost on Saturday. Texas Tech also lost to Arkansas. So like most of the Big 12 and the Big 10 are getting cut down in the round of 32, which I think is hilarious because the Big 10 sent the most teams in and the Big 12 was right behind them. So the two largest basketball conferences are getting weeded out, with the exception of, and Michigan's playing right now, They're in a tight game contest with LSU, but the number 1 seed in Baylor has beat. We took down Hartford. I struggled a little bit at the start, but when taking them down, and then beat the Wisconsin Badgers, beat the brakes off of them. And we're poised to face Villanova, who has had good success in the past years. But Baylor is a dynamic team built with 3-star guards, but also play superior defense. Now, speaking of defense, I have not seen defense played the way I saw Abilene Christian University, the Wildcats of Abilene Christian, play against the Texas Longhorns. I have not seen defense played that well until I watched that game on Sunday night. No, it was Saturday. It was truly special to see. Abilene was swarming. Now, for those of you out there who actually know something about basketball and have watched basketball a lot, I've played, I've watched, I know the ins and outs of defense. When you, a maximum of maybe 6 or 7 times throughout the entire 40 minutes of a game, have a player out of position, that's some damn good defense. And we're talking about disciplined closeouts, chopping your feet, hands up, not getting caught in the air. You're talking about great rotation, not allowing passes to get through, active hands in the passing lane, getting a bunch of deflections. That team was literally swarming to the ball. Let me put it this way. That team shot 30% from the field and beat a number 3 seeded Texas team. That team turned the ball over close to 20 times, probably more than that, and beat a number 3 Texas team because of how well they defended and how well they hustled. I'm a hustle player. I was a hustle player throughout most of high school. And I can respect hustle when I see it, and especially the way those guys were flying around the court. It was truly exceptional to watch. Hats off to ACU. I don't know what happened to them today. They were winning last time I checked, but it was like the game had just started, so I don't know who they're going against. And another story is the only team in Ohio to actually advance was Ohio University, the Bobcats. And this kid, Jason Preston, who I've heard of throughout the season, kid's got an incredible story behind him, wasn't even recruited out of high school. Dude was sitting the bench his entire senior year, and now he's coming in, and this dude is balling out at Ohio. Won them their, I think it was the MAC, won them their MAC tournament, comes in, and they, the 13th seed, take down the technically the defending champs all the way back in the 2019 season, take down the defending champs, and he almost posted a triple-double. I think it was 11, 13, and 8. I almost posted a triple-double, and if you just watched him down the stretch, his playmaking, his decision-making, he had like 5 consecutive possessions where it was either him scoring or he was making a direct pass that was either leading to almost a hockey assist or it was actually an assist. It was fantastic to watch him with the ball in his hands, making decisions, making plays, and leading them to that upset win over Virginia. And I know some of you guys are going to be UVA fans because I know you, and RIP, sorry, you lost to a MAC team, but what can you do? Jason Preston is a hell of a player, and he played a hell of a game on Saturday. So I don't know if they played yet or not, or if they're playing now, but I'm just going off of what I've watched so far. And then there's the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. That was another fun game to watch. Illinois, the champions of the Big Ten this year, number 1 seed, taking on the number 8 seed, the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. The Cinderella story from a few years back. And they didn't only beat Illinois. They beat them by like 13 points. Like, this Ramblers team was not messing around at all. Playing some exceptional defense. Not as exceptional as Abilene Christians. Playing good defense, making plays, and most importantly, hitting big shots. Like, that team was constantly shooting and constantly putting them in the basket. It was another just fun game to watch. There have been a ton of really fun upsets to watch. Yesterday, I was with my girlfriend watching the end of the Syracuse game. Syracuse puts away the Mountaineers of West Virginia, hitting big shots. I tell you, I don't know how many of these other March Madness tournaments have gone, but this tournament, as far as upsets have concerned and as far as quality of play, has been fantastic and very enjoyable as a viewer to lay eyes on. And as I said, I've laid out some of these teams and how well they have played. Teams that are poised to make a deep run. I mean, you have a 15th seed Oral Roberts playing in the Sweet 16. They're going up against a Uh, I can't remember who it is, who they're playing against, but it's another lower seed. It may be UCLA, or UCLA was playing against Abilene earlier today. Either way, like, they're poised to make. They could go on to the Elite Eight. We don't know. But a team, these lower seeded teams that have nothing to lose, like these 11 through 15 squads, have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts, and the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago, and the Orange of Syracuse, and the Bobcats of Ohio University have laid everything on the floor. And I've enjoyed watching them do it. Now, a final announcement. I just got this news no more than 2 hours ago. I got an email from my choir director. I'm a member of the Baylor University Men's Choir. Have been since I was a freshman. It's in my 4th semester. He was just informed by the athletic department that we will be recording a video of us singing the national anthem, and it will be aired before the championship games of both the men's and the women's tournaments. Let me say that again. We're singing the national anthem for March Madness, people. My choir, my men's choir, is singing the national anthem on national TV for the country to see. And hopefully, Baylor can be right there next to him. I'm so excited to do this. I had to come out, and I had to talk a little bit about the March Madness tournament to bring up this topic. This is, I'm so excited to do this. And I know it's a tremendous opportunity because we never stopped cranking out music. Even the pandemic was rolling last semester. We never stopped putting out pieces. We kept the hard work going. Some of them didn't. I mean, we went with the conditions that we got. We were in a church. We had some microphones. We did the best we could. And we never stopped cranking out. And we got recognition for it. And we have a chance to make our name known nationwide. And it's a truly incredible opportunity. And I hope it goes well. So keep an eye out when the championship comes around. Keep an eye on the Baylor University Men's Choir singing the national anthem, and keep an eye on your boy, because RJ Rennie Unhinged is going on TV, baby. I mean, I'm already on YouTube already, but you know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to this episode of RJ Rennie Unhinged. Back behind the mega mic, still sounding like a dying frog, but it is what it is. Glad to finally get something out. But thanks you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.